Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. That's Stephen Howson, Manchester United, losing at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest. Steve?
Done a double on us.
I didn't even think about that. They haven't they?
As they cruise towards Champions League.
Anthony Elanga as well scoring. It's one of them, innit? You sort of call that coming, didn't you? That was like the least surprising thing that's ever happened to Manchester United is Anthony Elanga scoring a pretty good goal against us. What do you make of this? Because I feel like we're in this weird situation at the minute in the league where obviously you want to see your team win football matches. I want Manchester United to win football matches, but
bold if true.
It's kind of like, yeah, we're 13th. What are we playing for other than pride?
I think even
what's going on
if
here?
we win like the vast majority of the games to the end of the season, we're like 12.
That's what I mean. It's weird. I've never been in this position where the league is literally meaningless.
And we're not going down either.
No, we're not going down, and we're not going to get... I know you can go, well, you get extra money for the higher you finish. And
it's like a bag of quavers, man.
Yeah, it's... Like, usually it's like, right, we want to get in Champions League places, or at least the Europa League places, or something. But now it's just like...
we need about 7 places to even think about European football. Yeah, I mean, it is a weird situation. And the annoyance is it was very, very expected against Forest because it's like the things that they're really good at, we're really bad at. And then the second that they get a goal, which was 4 minutes in, sound, they were like, Nuno's from the Jose Mourinho school of football. He was like, cool, I don't need to attack anymore because I know they can't score any goals. And he was right.
It's a good point because a lot of people getting annoyed, like Forest part of Bulls and all this sort of stuff. And United did create chances, which we did, but we've created chances in other games. We just don't score. And I'm sick of having the same conversations about United's lack of firepower, United having, even when we've got a better XG, we need to score goals. And that's my worry, is the games that do matter this season, which are the Europa League games, we need to score goals, and we're going to have the same players for the Europa League as we've got for the league, because in fact we're going to have a few less because they're not eligible. So if you're Ruben Amorim, how do you fix it? No, it's a bit of a question. Sorry, bro.
Hell of a question.
Sorry, this is how do you fix United not scoring goals? Let me rephrase it. Do you see any sort of light at the end of the tunnel? Do you think that because we're creating chances, because we have got players who have scored goals in the past, we can get there?
No. We said this in the summer.
Yeah.
Don't know how we score enough goals.
Yeah.
And we've got worse at scoring goals because some of those goals, the person with the best record of scoring goals plays for Aston Villa. So we haven't got any better. In fact, we've got worse at it. So yeah, it's a horrible situation to be in. It's hopeless is probably a bit dramatic, but there's not a lot of hope.
No, and I agree, and I don't want to be negative, and you do want to be look for positive, but you don't want to be deluded. And the reason
even if they brought Cheeto in, you're like, okay, so this is a child that's got some potential, but if he scored 3 or 4 goals, that's an incredible return to the end of the season, and it ain't enough.
No, it's not. And also, I know we're talking about the league here, but he's not playing in the Europa, so that's still an issue. And I almost feel with Cheeto in this weird thing where it's almost like a no-win situation almost. I'm not saying if Cheeto comes in and scores goals, it's not a positive, but then it kind of shines a light on someone like Rasmus Højlund, and it's kind of like, well, he's going to have to be dropped if you're going to play Cheeto, which is that going to affect him in the Europa League when we do need him? It's just so weird. I'm trying to look for positives. I mean, did you see any positives tonight other than we creating chances but not scoring them? Was there anyone that stood out for you and you think, okay, bit better than expected, or is it still a bit of an headache?
It's weird, isn't it? Because on one hand you want to go, well, we showed a lot of composure and we did create a lot of chances. That's good. We defended quite well outside of the goal, but then did that play into our hands the way the game went in that sense? It's hard to really apportion credit and blame to stuff when it went almost exactly how you anticipated it going, or at least it was how I thought it was going to go. Almost down to Elanga getting the goal. The back three held the ball real nice, was asked to play 1v1 on the halfway line, did a pretty good job of doing that outside of the one mistake, which was the goal. Midfield kind of Ugarte didn't really do a whole lot. As he said, why he hooked him early?
Now, have we got that? Is there any quote on
because I
Guy?
don't know why he's hooked him early, and I feel like there's a reason in that. But he wasn't winning his duels, wasn't getting on the ball. But it's a mad thing to do when it's like, okay, so who's gonna hold the centre of the park against a team that's known for being mega on the transition? Ericsson and Casemiro, right? Okay, cool. Or Bruno, okay. And then you wonder why you're getting carved open on the transition. Okay, the second half, we did hold the ball pretty well. Ericsson's always going to help you do that. But when you do lose it, Jesus, you've got to be better on the transition than we were. And again, okay, they didn't score. They didn't really create a lot either when they did do that. So maybe it was the right call. But then you go, okay, so could Mount have come on earlier? Could Højlund have started over Garnacho? Is there other cards we can play along that forward line? Because Garnacho's heavily involved, which is a skill in itself, which is the kindest thing I can say about him tonight. When he plays on the left-hand side, he plays against you because he ain't creating for others. He takes every single opportunity to just lash out a shot, even if it's the right or wrong thing to do. He's just shooting.
Yeah.
It's incredibly frustrating. He doesn't play for the team. You play him on the right-hand side, he's actually... First thought is to create for someone else because he can't come inside on his left foot. He's all right foot. He had 7 crosses, none found the target. He had 6 or 7 shots, none found the target. And then you've had Xerxes coming off the pitch. He didn't create for anybody and he didn't get a single shot off. And you're like, how is this the same thing?
Yeah.
How are you not finding each other?
Yeah, it is a worry because...
And Bruno's created 6 chances.
I feel like Bruno's the answer to everything. It's like, okay, who's going to go in midfield? It'll have to be Bruno. Who's going to drop deep to try and create something? It'll have to be Bruno. Who can create at the other end of the pitch? Bruno. Like, we can't have just... It's not Bruno FC. Like, it seems like he's the only one you can rely on for anything at the minute. And that is a massive worry when, in the past, yes, we've relied on Bruno, but you've also had Marcus Rashford or, going back even further, Anthony Martial or whoever scoring some goals. You've had a Casemiro dominating in the middle of the park or Kobbie Mainoo's been involved or whatever. And at the minute, it just feels like we're looking at Bruno to do everything.
You think if you got Mainoo back in the team, I'm not 100% sure where he plays, but let's just put him back in the team. You put Mason Mount in because he obviously likes him. A fit Mason Mount. I know it's a bit of a unicorn mythical creature, but
who
knows? Put a fit Mason Mount in, you put a Kobbie Mainoo in, you get Ahmad back in the team, and maybe a reliable goal scorer, and you go, that team shouldn't be far off beating the teams you're expected to beat, at least in the league.
Yeah.
Can it go toe-to-toe with Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester City? Well, Forest. Who knows? But, like, it should be picking up the points against fucking Palace and Fulham.
Yeah.
Surely. Like, because the parts are there for me.
Yeah.
Especially if you get a reliable goal scorer. Who's that? This is not the Del Piero batter shooter days, mate. Like, there is not... there's not a catalogue of those.
No, the market isn't great, and also we don't have any dough, which isn't a good combination. Like, and also we're not in a position like we used to be where we go, who's Spurs' best striker? Yeah, we'll have him. Who's Newcastle's record goal scorer? We'll have him. Who keeps scoring goals for Villa? Well, we'll have him. Like, that ain't happening anymore.
So Watkins would be a good player.
He would, and there's a time when you'd have looked at him and gone, all right, I'll just get him. But those days are...
No, but like, I'd rather stay here and play Champions League football.
Yeah, in fact...
Good point, well made.
Yeah, it's like, why would I take a massive downgrade? Just quickly, Ruben Amorim, do you think he got it right today? I know that sounds like a weird thing. Did you see anything that he got wrong? What did you make of his tactics? Do you think he's just...
Putting Garnacho on the pitch on the left-hand side? You've got to take some responsibility for that. You've seen the same things we've all seen.
Well, yeah, that was a bit of a funny one thinking about
and then
it.
I didn't even think about switching him over at any point in the game and being like, actually, maybe come over to the right hand side and try and find a teammate. I don't know.
I feel like Garnacho, right? He has these games, and then the next game he'll be on the right, or the next game he'll have that thing where he's just trying to pass because you feel like the manager has got in his head and said, "Look,
someone got him in a headlock."
Yeah,
on a bus
like this is absolutely unacceptable. This is what you got to do. But then the following game later, he'll be back to this, and I don't know again. Actually, I do like him, and like you saying, you've been kind. He gets on the ball, he wants the ball, but you got to do something with it.
I don't think he's a starter.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. Is that I'm not sure Joshua Zirkzee is a starter. I'm pretty sure that Højlund's not a starter. I don't think Casemiro's a starter at the moment. I don't know where Bruno starts. He's absolutely a starter, but I don't know where he starts, if it's in the 10 or in the 6. Because there isn't really an 8 in this team. It's one or the other. So I think maybe there's an adaptation, and you see maybe it morphs more to a 3-5-2 in the Prem, and it can stay as a 3-4-3 in Europe, where it seems like the pace and the transitions are a little bit kinder to that team.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's going to have to figure something out, though, because he's going to get grace. This season, you get to write off, but guess what? If we're 13th by Christmas, the knives will be out.
That's what worries me. I agree. I like Ruben Amorim, and I think given the time and the backing, he'll get it right, but I don't know what will happen. I'm not being melodramatic.
Look how fast Ineos have given a bullet to everybody that they've given the bullet to.
Yeah. And like
the only evidence that we've got is that they like a reload and fire.
Yeah, they do, don't they? They like a reload and fire, and then they like to throw them under the bus with interviews afterwards, which is always a nice touch.
Love that.
But we'll see anyway. Little hope, but we're not hopeless. Remember that. Go and check Steve out on his channel. You know where to find him as well. We're back later on this week. We'll have all the good stuff, including the brew where we don't talk about football. Don't worry about that one. That's been Stephen Howson. I've been Jay Motty. This has been Review Manchester United losing at Forest. Thanks for watching.